What is up, bitches? Welcome to the first episode of Pirate Radio with myself, Greg, Commander X, and John Carter. You're here, of course, to come and listen to some TF2 news. So first up, we're going to have a little discussion. We're going to first off start with the TF2L playoffs. So I don't know who wants to dive in straight away to the fourth playoff game, which of course was Epsilon versus Relic, took place the other week. Epsilon pretty much rolled it, so I don't know who wants to dive in and take chat away from this. Go on then, Zav. You know you want to.
Me, Epsilon, I don't know. Yeah, Relic don't seem to care. They just went for it, and if they won, they won. But it was never going to happen. Darn was pushing forward regardless of HP, and the rest of them were just DMing it the whole time.
Relic are never going to care unless there's a LAN on the line, and it's not like ETF2L are offering some prestigious LAN to go to.
It was funny seeing how many times Randa was picked off because Dignitas was just always aggressive and Randa was always just far ahead of his team.
Poor Rando.
So what were you saying about Randa earlier, DJC? He lost a bit of an edge from back in the where he should have maybe taken that UK spot.
Yeah, it was fun times back then when like Randa was clearly outclassing every other demo man, and like still didn't get the spot because of whatever personal disagreements exist between him and Byte, and then Randa somehow over the past 4-5 months, however long it's been, has just turned into.
He tricked himself into thinking he was good at pipes.
Hey, when you sit there and reload 8 pipes and eventually hit that last one to get that kill, man, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Doesn't matter now if he's been dead for the last 10 seconds, he's already respawned by the time he finished killing the scout.
But I do have to take one thing back. I hear that his strategy of sitting in spawn on Granary worked for once. Is that right?
Oh, it was so ridiculous. I can't remember who it was. Probably Dignitas or Relic. They were pushing in like left side of Granary, and Randa was camping top with 8 stickies above the thing, crouching at the corner. The soldier and scout happened to run through at the same time. He gets both picks. Then Epsilon end up clearing it up because they just lost because Dignitas or whoever lost a third of their fragging classes.
Indeed, sir.
Getting rewarded for doing the wrong thing.
Well, sometimes it works, doesn't it? Well, of course, Epsilon did go and take that game, guys. So they are now into the next game in the playoffs, which is against Crackland, the effectively third place game. So, do you have any predictions? What's going to happen there?
ETF2L are going to force it to be default because they're all idiots. That's what's going to happen.
Except for Hui, of course, John Carter.
Okay,
your favourite.
Okay, for the people that have no idea what we were talking about there, does anyone? Shall I go into it? Of course.
Yes.
So the two teams going on at the moment, of course, it's Crackland and Epsilon. They were meant to play by the end of last week. Nothing got organised, obviously. So they then said they could play Monday and Tuesday, according to the post or something on the ETF2L page. The admins got in contact with them and said, "Can you please play it this day?" The team said, "No, we don't want to," because Randa wasn't there for Epsilon, and Crackland have had a few roster difficulties recently, which we'll get into later. But so they decided not to play it, and ended up playing against a PCW against each other instead, which of course the ETF2L admins spotted. So I think they're a bit pissed off by the fact that the two teams, instead of playing their game, decided to play a PCW. Do you guys have any comments about this?
But you could see certainly Crackland's gripe because they would have had to use you as a merc, whereas Epsilon have to use Extremer. If anything, Epsilon get to upgrade and Crackland get
Yeah.
yeah.
It's silly that the admins are putting such a tight restriction on it anyway. It's not like we're gonna have season 11 ! Until February at the earliest anyway. We're gonna have another month and a half full of time where people are gonna be able to play games. And I understand they have to do placements or whatever, but it's not like they're gonna start doing placements the second the playoffs finish and sit there for 2 months like, oh man, who do we put in Division 1? Do we put Deserto or Last Man Standing? This is a really difficult choice.
He's last man standing
Yeah,
alone.
it's like
it was a good.
to
They
force
made
a
a good
default date on what is an important playoff match that could very possibly determine the season 10 ! Winner is a little silly. There's so much time.
That's ESLS,
Yeah, there's
isn't it?
so
Default
much time
Nations Cup final.
Even if they get everything out as quickly as they can, we're not gonna have the earliest they can start a season is what, mid-January. We still have another week and a half of December before Christmas is gonna remove everyone from playability, and then another week and a half of January. I don't know, it seems a bit silly to like try and force this. And they're not even going to start in mid-January. It's going to be like February too, so much time.
Can you not argue that ETF2L want everything to be played together for the fans, for their community and stuff like that? Or would you just argue that the teams can play whenever they want between now and
It's pretty
season
weird
11?
for ETF2L to start caring about the community and fans now, considering how awful they are caring about default dates. Have you ever seen how ridiculous? Yeah, like how ridiculous ETF2L is placing a default date. Where it's like, oh, I noticed that this team has an official at 2100 on Sunday. Well, they also have this match that needs to be defaulted, so I think we're going to put that for 2032 on Sunday. Like,
ever since they've started putting the default date as the first of like the week you're supposed to schedule it for, as opposed to the last possible date.
Do you remember when
It's just
ETFL used to have like
stupid.
good
It's just
admins,
no common
and
sense.
now it's like, oh, Snowy's gone, and Dave's gone, and D2M's gone, and all the people who actually did work are gone. So now it's just like, huh? Well, we need to fill 10 admin spots. Let's find the like lowest tier possible of people in this community who are all willing to do tons of hours of bitch work, set default dates, and none of them have any idea how to set a default date in the first place, apparently. I really don't put a whole lot of weight into ETF12's capacity for caring about the community at this point, considering how little effort they've put back into it.
Maybe that's why they want the matches played, because they need as much time as possible to actually get everything in even close to being right for the next season.
Well, on that note, guys, I think we should probably move on to our next topic of choice, which is, of course... if you want to keep going on this bashing of ECS, go for it, Rich. Okay. Well, why don't we, on the same subject, move over to the Bite and Pledge fiasco that's been aired recently.
Jesus.
So, like, imagine that you're a
Mutual
CS
masturbation
player,
party.
and you're like, oh, TF2, this game looks interesting competitively, and you go to vanilla TF2.org, and the first post you see is, what was it even fucking called? Pledge's awful post. Oh god, I'm looking now. I have it open right now. I'm looking. It's just like, imagine that you're a player of a serious competitive game, and you come over and you see commentary, Pledge's perspective, and you click on it, and it's just like 17 paragraphs of like leaky vagina all over your monitor screen. Oh, that's embarrassing. Like it makes us as a community, as an esports game, and we all try to take ourselves so seriously, even though none of us actually do. And then shit like this comes up. It's like, how can anyone take TF2 seriously when this is literally a backdoor fight between Pledge and Byte that has no effect on anything and is irrelevant to pretty much everyone. And all of the comments on Vanilla reflect as much. It's everyone going, okay, why is this here? Nobody really cares. And it's all just confusion. And it's like, why is this being posted and publicized? Couldn't there be some better way to handle this that involves just, two 25-year-old men talking and not having to do weird, awkward, like... It's pretty much just Pledge calling out Byte over it to try and get him to accept his apology, and it worked somehow.
The only reason anyone wanted to know is because they thought there was like some actual drama, like, oh, no one wants to talk about it, something must have happened, But it turns out nothing happened. Byte had his loyalty fucking betrayed.
Honestly,
That's
what
not
it
a
felt
thing.
like to me, from what I've heard from like Pledge and Bytes over the conversation, is did Pledge sleep with your mum? Is honestly that's how bad it felt like. And then it's just like, okay, some loyalty issues which you could apologise within 2 weeks. Oh, that's over with. Okay, now why are we still having this 2 years later? Huh? It's just escalation of egos in the scene in my books. But I'll have to wait and see what happens as he now actually joined Vanilla TV. I don't know whether it's 100% of what's going on. I am part of Vanilla TV, and these guys are probably pretty clever not to tell me, aren't they?
TV and have no idea what's going on. Clearly, some issues with you there, Greg.
Sounds like most of the Vanilla TV stuff.
This is not time for bashing.
I'm
Vanilla
bashing
TV,
you, Greg.
guys.
I'm
all right?
saying you're untrustworthy.
I'm. How long was it before you passed on gossip?
What was it? I got told the Dignitas news, and within 2 seconds I'd said it on air. So there you go.
I told some gossip about Dignitas a few months ago with like Cadis and Dunk potentially joining it. Within 5 minutes, I had told 20 people. So
I told Timu he was kicked from Exotic before he was actually told. Told said
we
not
talk
on air.
about that. Can we just make fun of Temu for a while? And the fact that everyone knew that Temu was getting kicked. And MIPC had a recruitment thread up for a Finnish medic, and Sai, just fucking the genius of Sai posts in the MIPC thread, Temu, ? And Temu instantly replies, "What the fuck?" And has to message Sai about it, asking what he's talking
Yes,
about,
he had
because
to
he didn't
add,
realize
he
he
had
was
to
getting
add
kicked.
Sai to friends to message him about it. That really awkward. Must have been awfully awkward exchange.
So why don't we move over then to the current roster changes, as it's like kind of a swap over thing. So move straight onto exotics. Of course, they have dropped Taimu. Was done live on air pretty much over the TV by me and Commando.
My bad.
Kind of hard not to drop somebody who's actively calling out your team and saying, "You guys are shit. I don't even know why I play for you" during the middle of a match. But
All it did turn into, like, if something went wrong early on, it turned into 25 minutes of shouting at Spari for being slightly too far forward, despite Spari carrying.
how do we abuse all of the Israelis in this community? I mean, come on, guys.
Spari's good.
Love one another, you know?
The Israelis love each other enough in recruitment posts and stuff.
Sometimes the reason why things went wrong wasn't because of the Jews, and I think that we all need to accept that and move on.
Time is living proof.
So of course, having talked about Taimu, he's now gone from the team. So I think they're moving some players around. So Koichi was playing Soldier, going to Scout. Sparkle, so I'm going to keep calling him Sparkle instead of Fade, was playing Scout, is now going Medic, and now they're looking for a pocket soldier who, at the moment, looks like it's going to be Boomer.
Yes,
Yeah.
can main
So
call as well, hopefully.
I've seen them playing with Boomer and
Ideally.
Anti at the moment, so can you give any more gossip about that, Commando?
Anti was just a merc. Anti won't leave blame, I'm pretty sure of that. Boomer's on the cards. I'm not sure what's happening, why he didn't play the thing.
Yeah, he's not allowed to
I
play
think it's because he's
playoffs.
still not allowed to play for playoffs, because of some nonsense rule, even though his ban's now actually expired.
Don't forget, this is the new
Good job,
admin
TF2.
team, right? In the old admin
But,
team,
yeah.
he got unbanned for writing a poem. Do you not remember that? he got banned. He had a 2-year ban for hacking,
No.
and it got shortened to a year because he wrote a poem to the TF2 admin team.
Hey, to be fair, that is one of the... I will hold that up as one of the positives of the old admin team. Ratio revoked my 17-year ETF12 ban just so that I could troll Nightbox in a thread, so props to Ratio.
All right, well, let's move on to some more of the team's little roster shuffles at the moment. Should we move on to the biggest news, of course? Dignitas playing earlier today. They beat Exotic and retain their Prem status. And they've actually now, whether they've dropped Jackal or whether the Jackal's left, I'm not 100% sure on which.
The Jackal's left real life, as far as I understand,
When,
which sounds very believable since he's an adult and has a
he's
girlfriend
getting
and
married
stuff.
soon as well, isn't he? So,
Is he?
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Indeed. When the Dunk and Cadis to Dignitas rumor began, what I was told was that the Jackal had a woman at home and a child on the way, and a job, and could no longer dedicate the time to this amazing game we all play.
Poor choice.
We
in my
can't
books,
all be
yeah.
CB, can we?
No.
So of course that does mean that they're down a medic. So we're gonna have a little bit of time speculating over who's gonna jump in. So the first big news, of course, is that when I said this on air earlier, Byte was obviously in the channel, and the first thing he does is he logs onto IRC. And I think I've still got the message here somewhere. Hang on, let me scroll up. This is what
It'll be a
Byte
mumble.
laptop. Need a medic? Dignitas/Hox? Love? Yeah.
I presumed he was joking, you know. Oh, good joke. So I said awkward. And I was like, he was like, then it turns out he was being serious, and it just became more awkward because Hox clearly didn't reply. Clearly already have someone better in mind, and clearly, even if Byte was technically the best choice available, they'd probably pick up some Finnish randomer ahead of
It
him.
was technically the best choice available one time already, and that ended up with Dunk joining Infuse, so I mean... Whatever the fuck went behind that decision, I don't even know.
Hey, don't bash Byte too much, alright? Well, no, I take that back. Keep going.
Wait. Just reread the vanilla
That was-
post and tell us not to bash Byte anymore.
To be fair, that was me
Jesus.
bashing Dunk. I mean, you
Yeah.
can bash Byte if you want. I mean,
Wow.
Actually, you're saying Dunk's worse than Byte.
after Byte did the lovely thing that everyone's doing now, where they stream their PCWs or post VODs on YouTube or whatever. And after listening to Byte's comms, I cannot imagine that there's a single Prem team who would want Byte in their team, because the atmosphere of the comms for the TCM games that he posted was so miserable that it actually made me depressed. Like, it drove me to drink. It's ridiculous.
I also presume, because Taimu does Taimu TV a similar thing, but Taimu only posts games where we do welling and that we eventually win and are generally quite rage-free. So I presume Byte would use the same logic and only upload games that went pretty well for them, they did nice things, and weren't too, bad on comms. So if those are the nice ones...
It was like
Jesus.
games where they did well and won, but the atmosphere was so... It's like, after listening to them, I didn't need to ask, oh, I wonder why Haunter and Coins didn't want to play anymore. Like, I figured it out pretty fucking quick.
And Skinny.
Yeah, so, of course, have you seen his recent video playing with like a Div 5 team and being in exactly the same situation? He's still just as aggressive and just as shouty if someone does anything wrong. It's actually quite funny, like how into a Div 5 game or whatever it is you can be. And he was playing demo as well. Like, it was like 4 AM or some shit like that as well. I don't know what was going on there.
Some people play to win.
Yeah, some of us don't give a shit after 10 PM.
As we can see by Greg's performance, he's never played to win in his life.
Hey, I did pretty well yesterday, Murky, for CC.
Oh, really? Good job. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Who was around to watch that?
Happy
Is there
for
an
you.
STV or a demo can watch?
MOV, yeah.
Put on Vanilla Insight.
I've watched 2 of your frag videos. If that's the good moments you have, I don't want to watch your demo.
Oh, what? Hey, this
Hey
is...
man, Twisted Play didn't know what hit them. Twisted Play didn't know what hit them.
Guys, come on, let's move on. Okay.
Okay, great.
So the reason I was murking for CC is, shockingly, Stannis has actually quit the team, from what I've heard. He's actually just up and left in the middle of the playoffs, so I've absolutely no idea what's going on there. Does anybody have anything?
Red Shocks, in the post Red Shocks made on ETF12, it says he's quitted for family issues, blah blah blah, none of their business really. Which makes
I
it
like how
sound
in
fair
quoting
enough.
Red Shock's post, you made sure to say quitted, not correcting his grammar. Just making Red Shock look like a dick on air.
Hey man.
So is it just me,
nice.
or all these Spanish scouts just seem to disappear at the moment from like family reasons? With Dorkin fucking off before, yeah.
Dorkin.
Family's never less important than TF2, you know? It's not like there's ever been a situation where it's like, oh man, I have some shit going on in my family, but I have a PCW tonight.
Well, it was supposed to be going to a wedding, but it is for playoffs.
I fucking fell asleep in the pool one time and missed games, you know? It's not like I'm gonna say, oh mom, sorry, I can't come over for dinner tonight, I have TF2 to play. I had to wear a fucking pair of antlers on my head that have a heart floating around them and go rocket jumping. Oh, I have to explain what rocket jumping is. Hold on, mom.
Okay, well, so does anyone want to speculate of what scouts might be joining that lineup and replacing Stannis?
Fate step.
Harry asked me who I would suggest to him, and when I said a load of names to him, Fate Step didn't seem to be the top of the list from what they said to me.
So what names did you list?
Fate Step, Joey C, Bash. Those are the 3 that I listed straight off the bat, and then haven't really listed anything more than that.
Of which only one is
Joey's always around.
Currently active.
He murks for us all the time.
Joey's never gonna play TF2 again now that he has his band and his girlfriend and whatever life he pretends to have.
Joey would be an odd fit. Like at LAN,
That'd be
that would be an
fucking
odd lineup, seeing Joey, Pesca and Harry sitting there quiet and tanned.
Hey, to be fair,
and 3 Jewish
Fishy
boys.
spends about 3 months a year at his parents' Spanish home, so he probably has a pretty nice tan going on as well.
And then yeah, but then of course Bash just
one
because
mile.
like MIG are not, Bash would probably leave that team if he got a good offer, from what I understand.
And especially now that they have Shifty on Soldier, what the fuck is that pickup? I know it's not like Marco has amazing DM. It's like, oh, it's not like I'm going, wow, such a downgrade in DM there. It's like, what the fuck is this downgrade in everything else?
never has MVP.
And actually,
looked
that
so
team's
good.
picked up Samsey, whatever his name is. A lot of people think they're hacks as well. So maybe
Sam.
Quinn will be out of that lineup soon and make it full German.
I wonder how many.
Quinn gets kicked from another
Well, now
team.
that he's
I'm
already
gonna feel
called
so
a bunch
bad.
of Netherlands people Hitler for cutting him once when he got. Well, it wasn't even a cut. He just didn't get a trial for FB, and he calls Ari a Nazi. I wonder what he's gonna do when he actually gets cut by blonde-haired, blue-eyed German people. You can't go much higher than Nazi on the insult rage scale.
To be fair, I don't think
Marco
any of them
was.
are actually blonde. If
They are. Thigh's blonde.
is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
That is
I swear-
beautiful.
my knowledge of Made in Germany's hair colour is letting me down here.
Yeah,
I'm looking a fool.
I went to summer assembly with 3 of them, didn't I? So
Oh, yeah, you met him. I only have vague LAN photos to go on.
okay. So I think we've bashed a few teams a little bit too much there. So we're going to move on to Equilibrium this time, of course. So Haunter is now.
A team we couldn't possibly bash. Good save, Greg.
So Haunter's now moved back to Equilibrium, which might just about save them from folding. I don't know, but as it stands, from what I understand, they're just going to fold. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't know if any of you have heard much more about Equilibrium.
Yeah, Equilibrium. That's a team that I really have my thumb on there. That's, when I think TF2, I think the pulse of TF2 is right at Equilibrium. You know,
Okay, let's put it a different way. Is Haunter going back to them a good move?
it couldn't be a bad move considering they went
Yes.
fucking winless.
Yeah,
Pro.
but a good move for Haunter then.
Well, where else would
the
it go?
TCM
Yeah.
reform that's going to be worked out so well the last time.
Well, they seem to have, I don't know. From what I can tell, their lineup's kind of steady, but I don't think Toda wants to keep playing
Didn't Toda quit a while ago?
on the basis.
Hilariously, I imagine that Equilibrium doesn't want
He
Toda
quits
to
many
keep playing
times.
either.
What Portuguese demo style would you replace Toda with? Then?
God knows, man. Why do they have to be Portuguese? They probably fucking speak English. It's gonna fucking. It's like, is that hard to just be like, oh yeah, we all speak Portuguese and we have for the past 6 months, but we all speak English as well. So why not just get an English demo and actually be good and not have to deal with Toda? I don't know. It seems bizarre
Poor Toda.
sick to like. Because it's clear they want to win. I mean, they have Hunter and Coins on the fucking team. Coins broke a glass table. He was so mad at losing. It's not like that's a team where you go, oh yeah, those guys play for fun and companionship. It's like if they're clearly weak.
What to be companionship? Haunter and Coins have been
Years
together.
now, man. Yeah, it's like
Years.
if they're clearly a team playing to win, then I don't understand why they would keep weaklings around, even when they're capable of adapting.
They do seem to change. They change players a lot when
And they
players
stick to
don't seem to be
Portugal
up
for
to the
some
task. They've gone through
The
like two
richest-
Portuguese medics and will keep replacing
The
them with
richest
lower
source
div
of high-skilled
Portuguese
TF2
medics.
players,
Portugal.
Portugal.
From one of them.
When they got all those great Portuguese TF2 players to come through Prem, like
Oh.
So what's the next topic?
There was,
So we might as well move on to the Yo-Yo Tech
Moving
versus
swiftly
Equilibrium
on.
game. The last and only
You mean,
left relegation battle.
Oh, that is the relegation battle? I thought that was...
It's a promotion / relegation battle
Alright.
between Yo-Yo Tech and Equilibrium, with obviously the winner getting the Prem spot and the loser getting knocked down to Div 1. So that's why if they fold, then Yo-Yo Tech are already in Prem, but if they, obviously the game goes ahead, it's just standard sort of gameplay. So I don't know if you guys want to give me a little prediction or anything like that.
The real question about that game is...
Tech.
Can 3 players from Yo-Yo Tech, the only 3 good players from Yo-Yo Tech, beat the non-existent Equilibrium team? The answer is pretty clearly yes.
Are the best 3 players on
Yeah,
Yo-Yo Tech
I mean-
better than no one?
I'm
is
pretty
what
sure
you're
that
trying to-
Hat could 1
Yes.
versus 0 that game and win. I'm pretty sure that even Origo could 1v0 that game and win. Yeah,
Origo's
there's a
not that
reason.
bad.
There's a reason that you don't have a team yet, Commander.
Yeah.
And it's clearly related to your non-functioning brain.
Sorry, I have such a positive outlook. Can't believe I'm the
Hey,
good guy on this
Yo-Yo
cast.
Tech have some good players.
Yeah, 3 of them.
So basically, in my books, Hat's going to go and carry them, win that game, and we'll see Yo-Yo Tech and Prem, which in all honesty, I think they deserve. They've worked their way up pretty well as a team. How they'll handle themselves in Prem, it'll be a bit dodgy in my books. We'll have to wait and see. They might win a few games here and there, but other than that, I doubt they'll get many more.
It'll be fun.
They'll be better on the. They'll get stomped on the Grand Lands, but they'll do better on the more obscure maps.
Like obscure.
Like obscure.
No,
Please,
no,
for the love of
Jesus,
God,
I was
every
thinking-
ETFL
no, I didn't
admin,
mean
every
that.
ETFL admin that's listening, please take it
About
out
to
of the
say.
fucking map pool already.
That's what I was about to say.
Hey,
Obscure maps.
Shut
but
up,
please,
Greg. You're not
no
allowed
obscure.
to defend obscure.
I-
That's my
no,
one
no,
rule.
no.
You defend obscure.
I'm not defending
you're-
obscure at all.
You're fired.
Rumours that I've heard is that stand-in will be in next season.
Wait. I don't even know what that is. Is that map that they played in America where you can cap 3 points at the same time or something retarded? Wow.
Glad that we're.
Wait, or Croissant? Croissant got good feedback from the highest bracket of that one
I'm
day
glad
cup.
that
The epic final between
TF2
LGG.
puts together a cup solely for testing and giving feedback on a map, and the best team they can get to play it is like a low Div 2 team. So much great feedback's gonna come out of that.
Oh.
I really want to hear Hildreth's opinions on maps, you know, I really value his opinions so greatly.
We'll get him in as a guest speaker
Okay, I'll sit
next
out
time.
Yeah, we'll let him come in and give us
We'll
give us
do-
feedback on Croissant for us, shall we?
We'll do a map special, yeah.
But no, like, in all honesty, if ETF2L came to the Prem teams and said, "Look, we're going to do an invite tournament. It's going to be like this map. We don't, you know, if you don't want to enter, you don't have to enter. But like, you know, if the thing is with the Prem teams is Infuse aren't going to enter unless the other teams do, and I'm sure it's the same for all of them. Like, what's the point in wasting a good night's practice playing
Well,
a shitty cup when we
in
can just
the
be
cross-
playing 2 PCWs that actually mean something to us? Like,
Yeah.
that's all it is. So I don't really care if they get an 8-team invite, get all the Prem teams to come and play an invite, or you know even just 4, so we just play it a couple of times. That's fine. You know, I'm sure people will play it, but just you know, other than that, there's no way I'm going to go there, play 2 10-minute games, be in the final, and play another 10-minute game. Like,
Greg, if you put all the Prem teams into it, what are all the lower teams gonna do? All those,
well, they can play in their own noob cup,
all those
can't they?
important lower teams whose opinions are so valuable about these maps that the top teams are going to be playing next season. I mean, like, if I were in Crack Clan or Epsilon or Infuse and I was looking at a next season Croissant gets in and I look and I'm like, why the fuck did Rinta decide what map I'm playing? What the fuck?
Tactics, in the history of video games, tactics have never filtered up from the lower divisions.
One day
Tactics
someone's
filter down.
gonna steal
no
the
point,
Reg double pyro granary tactic and you're gonna fucking shit yourselves, Abby.
Dan's gonna be listening now thinking, that's what we can do to pull
Nice
it
joke,
back.
nice
That's how
joke,
we're
Relic
gonna
running
win
an
the
off
next
class. What the
LAN.
fuck's wrong with you?
Come on, Rebelli goes heavy.
He does go pyro as well.
I don't believe that.
Rebelli does.
Yeah, on
He
obscure.
looks out of place. He looks like the uncle who's at a family wedding but doesn't really know anyone. Just comes across
What
as
the
a bit
fuck?
No, on the
pedophile.
maps where a pyro is ridiculously OP, he goes it. So obscure, Gullywash, there you go. That's fine.
I do want to move on after I make fun of Zavi for saying that awful pedophile line.
I was trying to move on.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Commander X? What's the next topic? No, shut up. Move on.
Do you not have
Jesus
that
Christ.
uncle?
Okay, well, I think we should move away from the EU scene. So move over the pond to your scene there, Rich, and mainly, of course, the 2. What was it? 6-0 they were. They're both
7-0.
teams. Mix Up and 7-0. Mix Up and Quantic were both 7-0 going to last week's gravel pit. It then got delayed because ESEA client lol is ridiculously shit. And
Still
then
better than ESL. Fuck wire. How bad is it that the ESEA client is 100% reviled? There's not a single person in America who defends the ESEA client. And then they played the ESL Nations Cup, and everyone went, how the fuck is Wire worse than our client? What the hell?
Wire is so bad, but I think I've been told off before for bashing Wire many times.
You don't want to
so-
incur the wrath of Anakin. Ugh.
Anakin and Wildcard, man, those 2 just came after me after that. Shit. So of course those 2 did. Then these 2 teams met up. They're they're arguably the 2 best teams in America at the moment. And Mix Up actually won out over Quantic. So Mix Up is actually a team with like Harbler and TLR, kind of like Czech 6 revitalized from the old Czech 6 that won every single game in the playoff, in the league even. And then Quantic is the old EMG / what was it? What was the What the fuck do they call it?
The Prophets featuring Dashner.
Profits, yeah, that Profits featuring Dashner that won the last season of ESEA, and actually Mix-Up came out on top pretty dominantly, 2-0 in that gravel pit game. I know Commando didn't watch it. Did you manage to catch any of it, Rich, or not?
My teammate Bradford Pure Ross was casting, so of course I had to tune in for that. Bradford Big Dick Pure Ross. He'll be so disappointed in me if I don't say the big dick part, so had to specify. It was a pretty expected match. Pure asked our team for predictions before he went to cast, and we all universally said 2-0 Mix-Up. Not too hard to predict. CB had a broken computer for a while, the medic for Quantic, so he hadn't been able to practice that much. Plus, even when he was around to practice, he was struggling. And it wasn't too unexpected. Quantic blew a B hold in the first round. And then
CB just out of position and died, didn't he? In that,
Well, they had pretty poor roof control, and they made a really clever play with Enigma hiding on the roof unseen. And then as soon as the bombers came in, and CB reacted to the bombers, Enigma just instantly went for him off of the roof, and nobody knew he was there, so they couldn't adjust in time. And then the second round was just Mix-Up dominating for 8 minutes and 30 seconds, and Quantic looked like they were going to get shut out of B. And they butchered it so badly, holding the catwalk, where they just let themselves get surrounded by all six and got themselves horribly out of position. And Quantic came in with a nice 8:58 cap time, I believe, for the second round. And it looked like things might go Quantic's way and we'd see a third round, but it was just too strong. They haven't practiced enough. There's not enough coordination between CB and Tyrone right now.
Alright, that's fair enough, really. So, of course, that means that Quantic, the previous ESEA LAN winners, lose their first game, go 7-1, and while Mix-Up go 8-0. And do they play again this week? Am I seeing things? So they play Snakewater this week against each other?
Yeah, they do, because ESEA's scheduling makes no sense to anybody. But yeah, they get a matchup on Snakewater, currently scheduled for December 7th at 11 p.m. Who knows if we'll even have this cast up by then. Yeah.
December 7th today, just for you to know.
So, the 6th, okay?
It's the 7th in the EU.
Only in EU.
Yeah, tonight.
Another
tonight,
what, 11 hours? 10 hours? No, wait, no, it's way off.
No! Like 28 or something.
Yeah, what the fuck
20,
is wrong
26, 27.
Oh, man. Yeah.
No, it'll be Thursday evening for EU, is where it's currently scheduled. Thursday,
I have
4
no
AM,
idea what the fuck's going on. So there you go, guys. Do tune in if you do get a chance. We probably won't even have this out by then. So yeah, go watch the VOD, courtesy of XTV. There you go, guys. And then
please don't. If you watch the XTV VOD, please just mute it.
The STV is freely available.
XTV
yeah, he did last night, and that's why I listened. And if you weren't there, I would not have fucking listened.
So let's say I stay up on Thursday and cast. You'll be there listening to me cast.
I have a match, dude. No, I don't. I have something else to do. I have hair to watch.
Okay, so moving straight on from the current scene.
Ever notice how every time I start making fun of Greg, he's like, "Oh, we better move on to another topic." Right?
Yeah, let's move on.
So why are we going through topics so quickly?
Yeah, well, we've actually been going already over half an hour, guys. So it's been quite a long time. Well, meanwhile, we're just like sitting here bashing people. And actually, there is one last topic which I'm gonna get bashed for as well. How fun, hey? Which I feel, of course,
well, if you're responsible for something, you should get bashed for it.
MGE have recently made a post saying they're shutting down on their site. It was earlier today, in fact, and I'll let these guys dive in and bash me straight away.
Okay, so here's the thing. I mentioned this to Greg when I found the news out, and Greg goes, "Oh, that's weird," because CB asked me to do a video last week, and I was like, "Nah, I can't be bothered." And CB closed MG because no willing to do videos anymore because you're all lazy cunts. So pretty much it's Greg's fault that my gaming edge is dead. So everyone thank Greg. Give him a nice round of applause.
Hey, I was actually sitting down, got the demo ready today, and then you messaged me, yeah? Yeah, that's right.
Sure. Yeah, and I was sitting here today with this big vanilla TF2 article I was ready to put up, but I was like, oh, I was so heartbroken over MG shutting down that I just couldn't post it. I deleted it. I did a lot of work too, Greg, that's never going to materialize.
Hey, maybe I'll release it on Vanilla TV Insight, my own voice over the top, just MGE style for Vanilla Insight.
Is it bad enough we have to hear you calm in an infused insight?
I've not been
Yeah,
on
it's
any
not
of the
another-
infused insights. Every time they do one is when I'm not there, or they've got some shitter merc. They got Matt Parrott merc in the last one, I think. Oh god.
Well, it's not like if you're getting a merc for you, it kind of has to be a shitter. I mean, in a match situation, if someone's like, "Oh yeah, we need a merc for Greg," they're like, "Yeah, Div 2 only." Pretty easy choice there.
We'll use Winter.
That's just what the fuck.
Hey,
That was
calm down,
uncalled
calm
for.
down, yeah? That's
Well, that was
far,
too
yeah.
far. Wait, that's for one up, bro. That's for
Why do you
scoring
always
up, bro,
take it like to
last
the
bit.
worst step? You cross the line every time, Zav.
I've had too many dark
That's
attacks.
why, that's why there was so much reluctance to do this, is we were so worried about Xavier, the rebel, the maverick, going over the line.
I am the bad boy of TF2.
Oh, so actually, that I think is all we have for you this evening, guys. Unless anybody's got anything they want to bring up right now before we do an outro.
My friend would like to say something. Greg sucks! That's all they had to say.
He has
I
a
don't
point.
know. That was weird.
Oh, okay.
See you, James.
Just comes in. Greg sucks. Awesome. Right. So this has been Pirate Radio, guys. Peace out.